The final week of the 2023 MLB season is officially here, and Fernando Tatis Jr. is putting the finishing touches on one of the greatest defensive seasons we've ever seen from a right fielder. We also saw a rare broken bat home run. That's how strong Atlanta catcher Sean Murphy is. The Mariners and the Astros are both trying to avoid losing 3 games in a row, and Aaron Judge, yeah, he's not happy at all with the Yankees. Just a reminder, MLB Recap is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use code Fuzzy to save 20 bucks off on tickets, and also use code Fuzzy on Underdog Fantasy. They are matching deposits up to $500 right now, and they also have a new user special. Matt Stafford, he only has to throw 1 yard, so it's basically free money. All right, the first game from yesterday, James Outman, he's not going to win NL Rookie of the Year, but he's having a damn good rookie campaign. 22 home runs, 15 stolen bases, and 10 outs above average. He's also top 10% in speed, so this dude, he can really play. So can Lamont Wade Jr. Wade quietly has 17 home runs and a 121 OPS plus. That's because he never chases and he walks a lot. He kind of controls the AB every time he's in the box. Now this one, it stayed tied into extras, where we saw a crazy deflection to start a double play, and then moments later, Chris Taylor, he walks it off on a single, and the Dodgers, they all but knocked the San Francisco Giants out of the postseason. The Mariners and the Astros are trying to avoid becoming the NL version of the Giants. They're facing a division rival with the season on the line. Marcus Semien, he sent one out for his 26 home run, only to have Teoscar and JP Crawford snatch the lead back on some solo home runs. But not to fear, the extra base god is here. Corey Seager, he's having a historic season for a shortstop. He's hitting .333 with 33 home runs and 96 RBIs in just 112 games. El Bombe, that's Adolis Garcia. He went .450. He has 36 home runs. Leote, he smacked a huge 2-run home run. He's got 31 doubles, 14 stolen bases, and 13 home runs. And there's Semien again. He's got 27. He is one of 4 players with 25 plus WAR since 2019, so he's insane. And there's the dagger. Rookie Evan Carter, he just turned 21 2 weeks ago. He has some of the sickest tools I've seen in quite some time. Like, he doesn't chase bad pitches. He's top 2% in speed. He's got 4 home runs and 10 RBIs in his first 44 at-bats. Now, hold on a minute. Here comes the Mariners. You had RBI singles from Teoscar Hernandez, Jared Kelenic, Eugenio Suarez, and the Mariners got right back into it, and they don't want their season to end, but it wasn't enough. Jose Leclerc, he struck out 2 in the 9th inning. He's been pretty good over the last few weeks. The Mariners, they got swept by the Rangers. Speaking of sweeps, the Astros just got swept by the Kansas City Royals. Nelson Velasquez is quickly becoming someone you do not want to mess with. He went yard, and Matt Duffy, apparently he still exists. I forgot about that. That's a 2-run home run. Salvi, he bashed a long 410-foot 2-run home run, and Nelson, he did it again. He's got 17 home runs and a 150 OPS plus. He had 3 in 13 games with the Cubs. He was traded to the Royals. Now he has, it doesn't make sense, 14 home runs in 36 games. The Astros, they answered back with a few runs. Jordan, his 29th, got the Astros within 1, but just like the Mariners, it wasn't enough. James McArthur, he's been racking up saves left and right. He has 3 base hits allowed and 0 runs over his last 13 innings, so that guy is insane. The Royals have won 6 games in a row, so with the Mariners and Astros getting swept, the Rangers are 2.5 games ahead of the Astros for first place and 3 games ahead of the Mariners, so Seattle, they really need the Blue Jays to lose this next game. Toronto is trying to show the rest of the league that they aren't just good on paper, but they can play. After going down 2-0, Whit Merrifield, he tied it up on a 2-run single off of the rookie Taj Bradley. And oh no, I hate to question someone's effort, but Manuel Margot almost looked like he was jogging after missing that baseball. Same with left fielder Harold Ramirez, like just not sprinting after the ball. It was weird to me. That's a free 3-run inside the park home run for George Springer, his 21st of the season. And then George, he entered in all the cheat codes and took over defensively, an absolute C to host Curtis Mead at second base. And then on the very next play, I think, the dude went full extension to make an insane play. That's a crazy start to a game for just one single player. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he hit his first of 2 on the night, so stay tuned for the second one. By the way, Vladdy and Izak, they both went 427 feet, and I wanted to show Izak because he enters the 30 home run club. Bo Bichette, 20 home runs. Vladdy, he's got 26 home runs. He's pulling the ball again, which is terrifying for the rest of baseball. He's hitting .315 with 5 home runs and 10 RBIs over his last 8 games. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and the Jays, they're playing really well. So the Orioles just saw the Rays lose. They're going to try and put some separation in between them and Tampa Bay. Rookie Jordan Westbrook brought in the other rookie, Heston Kjerstad, on a double. And then after Anthony Santander took a bases-loaded walk, their Rookie of the Year runner-up from last year, Ali Rutschman, he stepped up. Ali, he doubled in a speedy Jorge Mateo. Not much else to go over aside from Kyle Gibson looking pretty good. He allowed 1 run over 7. He struck out 4 on 96 pitches. He's never going to be a huge strikeout guy, but he can limit hard contact from time to time. The Baltimore Orioles are top 10 in both OPS and team ERA, so they're good on both sides. The Orioles, they're 2.5 games ahead of the Rays for first place in the AL East. It's almost hard to believe that Juan Soto isn't even 25 years old yet. He is a special all-time talent. 460 feet on that lefty tank. On the season, he now has 33 home runs and a 157 OPS plus. By the way, he has a career 157 OPS plus. That set the tone. San Diego, they ripped off for another 9 runs over the next 2 hours. Xander had an RBI triple. Xander is basically hitting 440 in the month of September. Juan Soto had another RBI extra base hit in Tatis. He knocked in 1 right before Jose Azocar left the yard. Now, because we just brought up Tatis, we got to show this play. Tatis, he brings it back. He has 28 DRS. 28 defensive run saves in right field. He is one of the few players in Major League Baseball history to have a 25-25-25 season. That's 25 home runs, 25 stolen bases, and 25 defensive run saves. Walker, he was great again. He has a 2.5 ERA over his last 18 starts. The Padres, their season is probably over just like the Giants because there's only 6 games left, but they're 5 games back of a wild card spot. So the Padres really need a couple teams to lose, like the Reds, the Marlins, the Cubs, and the Diamondbacks, and they were all playing yesterday. The Reds, they were taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates and what could be Joey Votto's final game in Cincinnati. That massive 10-year, $225 million contract is up this year. You got a standing ovation. I mean, I think he's going to be a future first ballot Hall of Famer in my opinion. Pittsburgh, they grabbed a lead in the 5th on Jack Sawinski's 26 home run. They went up 2-0. Then TJ Friedl happened. TJ Friedl has been a superstar in the month of September. What can't he do? He's a stud defender. He's sick on the bases. He has 17 home runs. And there he is again. His RBI single in the 7th saves their season. And Christian Encarnacion Strand, he's been a beast. He's got 7 home runs and 16 RBIs while hitting 380 over his last 17 starts. Remember, he's a rookie. The Reds, they pick up a huge W, and just like the Padres, they really need the Diamondbacks and the Marlins or the Cubs to lose these next games. I mean, the title of today's video kind of spoiled this game because Arizona, they embarrassed the Yankees, and the Yankees have officially been eliminated from playoff contention. The Diamondbacks, they scored plenty for Zach Gallen, who needed a bounce-back start after allowing 10 runs over his last 2 starts. He went 6 shutout with a few strikeouts. He ended up with 8 strikeouts on just 3 base hits allowed, and for the first time since 2016, it's been 7 years, the Yankees are not going to the postseason. So many things went wrong. Injuries, regression was a true season from hell. We're going to do an update on the NL wildcard after we show these quotes from Aaron Judge.
We got a lot to work on, a lot of things to change, and a lot of stuff going on around here that needs to be fixed. I'll tell you guys every year. I'm not standing here talking to you guys after a championship. It's a failure. Get kicked out like this in the regular season. That's a big failure right there. So, like I said, we got a lot of work to do, a lot of internal talks, a lot of stuff we got to get figured out and get right for the next year.
So Aaron Judge, like a true captain, called the season a failure because they did not win the World Series, and he even said that he has some ideas about some offseason moves, but I guess that's what a captain does when you're given almost $400 million. Now, shifting gears back to the NL wildcard, this game was baseball at its best. John Birdie, a legacy game. That was his first of 2 home runs, and Josh Bell, he now has 11 home runs with the Marlins. He has 11 in 48 games with the Marlins. He had 11 in 97 games with the Cleveland Guardians. Of course he did. Brian De La Cruz smoked a 2-run double, and again, this is baseball at its best. John Birdie tattooed another baseball, 415 feet on that 2-run moonshot. He's up to 6 home runs. 3 of those 6 came in the last few days, and that's why we love baseball. Anyone can get hot at any moment. By the way, I didn't show much of Edward Cabrera. The 25-year-old flamethrower has been on a tear lately. He has 22 strikeouts and a 1.89 ERA over his last 19 innings. The Marlins, they've won 2 games in a row, so the Reds, they're not getting much luck. Same with the Padres. Now, the Cubs are just 1 game ahead of the Marlins, so this has now become a must-win game for Chicago. Now, they were in trouble early after Brendan Rodgers hit a 2-run home run, and rookie star Nolan Jones poured salt in the wound. Nolan Jones, by the way, has 9 stolen bases this month and multiple outfield assists. He is truly turning into a 5-tool superstar, but one swing is going to change the fate of this game. Patrick Wisdom, he went boom. 435 feet, my goodness, he has 53 base hits on the season. Patrick Wisdom has 53 base hits on the year. 22 of them have been home runs. Julian Merriweather, he got the save, and the Cubs, they beat the Rockies. So the full update on the NL wildcard, the Diamondbacks and the Cubs have a spot right now with the Marlins at 1 game back, the Reds at 2.5 games back, and then you have the Giants and the Padres tied at 5 games back. There's only 6 games left, so there's no room for error. Phillies fans might never let this 2023 season down for Mets fans because it was a near $400 million disaster JT Realmuto, he drove in 2 RBIs. Castellanos, he drove in 2 more on his 29th home run. And then the 2-timer made it a 5 spot for starting pitcher Christopher Sanchez, who's kind of been Ranger Suarez 2.0, just kind of coming out of nowhere and breaking out. Now, rookie Ronald Mauricio did hit a 2-run home run, but that did not phase Christopher Sanchez. He had 10 strikeouts over 7 innings. In 2 of his last 3 starts, he's gone 7 innings with double-digit strikeouts. Then you had rookie Orion Kerkering, that is a real name. He made his debut yesterday. He basically only threw sliders. He struck out 2 in front of his dad and family. His dad was an emotional wreck. He was just completely overwhelmed. It was such a cool moment. Michael Lorenzen has lost a spot in the rotation. He has been shifted to bullpen duties. He got the save. The Phillies, they won 5 in a row. They are getting hot at the perfect moment. The Angels and the Twins, Jorge Polanco and Max Kepler, they both lifted off for some home runs. And Kepler, he really enjoyed his, by the way. He's been really good, 23 home runs and near 120 OPS plus. And of course, he's playing Gold Glove defense. He always does. He has 5 outs above average in right field. Ryan Jeffers had a big day earlier on in the game. He had an RBI triple. There's a 2-run home run in the 7th to end the scoring for both teams. Jeffers, he's got 12 home runs and a stupid 130 OPS plus. By the way, Joe Ryan, I think he's going to have one more start. He is 9 strikeouts away from 200. He struck out 10 yesterday. He's having a really weird season because he has an 11 strikeouts per 9. That is sick, but he almost has a 4.5 ERA because he's allowed 29 home runs on the season. Either way, a Sonny Gray, Pablo Lopez, Kenta Maeda, and Joe Ryan rotation, that is pretty dang good. Going into October, the Twins, they win easy against the hapless Angels. We have a little doubleheader between the Nationals and the Braves. Rookie Jackson Rutledge, he's been much better since his disaster debut when he gave up like 7 runs on 10 base hits, and then he got hit in the back of the head with a throwdown from the catcher. He flexed his stuff yesterday versus the Braves. After Washington stole the lead in the 2nd, Jackson, he went out and only allowed 1 run over 5 innings. He allowed 3 base hits, struck out 4. Rookie Jacob Young, he knocked in a big 3rd run because Sean Murphy, he is so strong. That is a broken bat home run, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know how strong you have to be? Like, that is rare company. I think Barry Bonds did that. Josh Hamilton did that. So the Nationals, they do win 3-2, but that was a cool moment. Kyle Finnegan eventually locked it down. He's got 27 saves. So Washington, they take game number 1. But yeah, that momentum was quickly taken by the Braves. They are going for win number 100, and they're going to get it because they popped off for 4 runs in the 4th. You had RBI doubles from Olsen and Arcia, and then Kevin Pillar, he had a 2-run moonshot to put the Braves up by 1. By the way, this next name is not a joke. Rookie Forrest Wall, that is his actual name. He connected on his first big league home run, Orlando Arcia. He tacked on 2 more for a 2-run single. It's crazy that I really thought Vaughn Grissom was going to take over shortstop and be the X factor for the 2023 Braves. Atlanta, they're the first team in baseball to 100 Ws, and they've done that in back-to-back seasons. Not first to 100, but they've won 100 in back-to-back seasons. Mike Clevenger gave up a few solo home runs to Boston, but his lineup was able to bail him out. There was a 2-run double from Elvis Andrus, who sometimes I forget is playing, and he's been playing for a while. He has almost 2,100 base hits, and he is currently the active leader with 347 stolen bases. A sac fly from Gavin Sheets put this game kind of out of reach, even though Clevenger gave up another solo home run, but that was the game. It was shortened due to rain. The White Sox, they're given a free W, basically. Spencer Torkelson drove in the Tigers' first 2 runs, and that was a wrap for scoring for both teams. JP Sears, he struck out 7 over 5, so he was still pretty good for the A's, but Erod, he wasn't going to let his team lose this ball game. He went 7 shutout. He was able to skate around 4 walks and 5 base hits, so he was good enough to not allow a single run, but he wasn't nasty or anything like that. Alex Lang, he was nasty. He struck out 2. He has 25 saves on the season. I like his stuff. He just has to stop giving up a lot of walks. I had a really long weekend, so that's going to do it for today's recap. Thank you all so much for watching. Use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek, Underdog Fantasy. Love you guys. Catch you in the next one.